Alright, so this next part of the test has a few things going for itself. I have the ARC A750 set up to FSR 1.0 because this card is not a 4K gaming card, but I am playing at 4K resolution, so I'm using an upscaler. It's also locked to 60 FPS. And one of the reasons, of course, it's locked to 60 FPS is I decided to play this game on a monitor that does not have AMD FreeSync or NVIDIA G-Sync. Doesn't have either of them. And so I get to simulate how people with 5-year-old technology play games. Because one of the things that we find in the market is a lot of old 4K monitors that don't have any of those technologies. And people pick them up thinking that it's a very cheap option. Then they play video games not realizing just how bad things really are for them. But since this is a game that is player versus environment, it should be okay. Now, data on the top right. 4 gigs of RAM being used, 4 gigs of video RAM out of 8, and 11.6 gigs of system memory, and I have 32. So let's see. Now, it should be noted that cocoons give the highest frame rate in the game, which is great for console and PC gamers to be able to compete with one another and train better. And I actually just missed that. Now I wanted him to go up, so I can see. It's not bad. It knocked it down by 2 FPS, and that is high energy attack there. It generates a lot. So I run a second one. Oh, sorry. Anyway. So, I play Tech or Bouncer. The whole purpose of adding Bouncer as a subclass is adding utility to the class. Utility is very important to me when I play any kind of video game. I want to be able to have an option at each range. But if you play a tech class, you'll find that you will be doing a lot of elemental downs, but you won't be doing a lot of physical downs. So no element on a weapon is as important as element on a weapon, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So notice I did not start with any elements on the weapons. So I froze him, got my buff up, but I'm going to give him physical down as well. So this prevents him from going up. And so there you go. Now I'm using rich and light food. I'm not using crisp food. But there you go. It doesn't matter if it takes me 40 seconds or 1 minute or a minute 30. It's very important that when you have flexibility and versatility, you have to be able to control the fight. Part of playing support in a lot of games deal with either doing crowd control yourself or assisting in another, mainly the tank, doing it. But as far as things are concerned, it is more important to be able to control the fight. Because if you have to go through a situation like going into North Alio, fighting the Gigawatt Reigns, fighting the 5 Recon Gigas all at the same time, clear time is not going to matter as much as being able to use your environment and your awareness to be able to beat the enemy without getting killed. And so the flexibility and versatility of your attacks become far more important than your clear time. So instead of thinking, hey, I cleared this in 2 minutes, think of how well did I do? Look at the number of heating items that you have, look back to the fight, ask yourself, how did I do? That might help. So this concludes this segment. Next segment is going to be simply jumping between cities, just to see how it all holds up.